What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Everybody versus Life. My name is Bob,
Yeah, my name is Eric.
and as you can see, we got we got Eric's cat on me today, which is nothing new. So first things first, Eric, how are you? How's your daughter doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing well. My daughter's doing great. Spending as much time with her as much as possible. That kind of thing. She's growing. Every day she's not shrinking. She's.
Well, I hope not.
Oh no!
I hope not.
Oh no! I don't know why I said that, but she's growing. She's growing. What about you?
Oh, I'm all right. Same old, dealing with school, work, lack of motivation, but just trying to grind it out, finish it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of your daughter, with me not having any children, what are some of the challenges of being a dad?
Oh, okay. This one might sound like vague, but providing for them, and that means also just going into spending as much time with them, because that's super important. You want to be around,
Right?
Not like my dad, because he was never around. Basically, just spend as much time with them as much as possible, and always save money for them, because growing up, I'm sure you as well. At least in the very beginning, never went on a lot of vacations, Not like those middle-class fancy folks where they always went on, like, these road trips to these states and stuff like that. But, just trying to be there for her as much as possible because my dad was never there for me.
So do you think you trying to establish that relationship with your daughter stems from your relationship with your dad, or?
Yeah, 100%. Just because you can always make money and you can always go on spend money on them and stuff like that. But the one thing you don't get back is time with your daughter or your son or whatever you have. Whatever you have. That sounds mean, but I could mean cat or dog. But
your child.
Your
child. Just stick with child.
Your baby,
All right.
But yeah, that's why I value time with my daughter, and I take a lot of pictures, videos, and stuff. And it's crazy because every night I go through my phone, and my ex-wife knows this, is I scroll through videos of her when she was 2 months old, 1 month old, before she was 1, and I'll just look at those pictures and videos, and then I will look at her now and be like, damn, like they grow so much from when they came out of the womb to, which she's 2.5 now, and she's talking.
It's like a blink of an eye, huh?
Yeah, and she plays by herself. It's just crazy. They grow up so fast, and then you don't even realize that you're growing up too. Like you're getting older as you watch them get older. But yeah, I think that'd be the basically to stem off your question.
That's awesome, man. That makes me want to have a kid, which eventually I do, but only time will tell.
Who knows, man? Could be like your dad, where he had 12 kids.
9.
10. Okay, I
10.
overestimated.
11.
How was that close? You started counting. Oh shit!
No, it was because
Right.
So me included, is nine kids,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had a brother who was born in Laos who didn't make it over.
Yeah.
And he ended up passing away, and then my mother had another child that supposedly died after birth.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I don't want to get too much into it because it's my mom's business. But just the way that they were doing it and the way that my mom explained it, like it didn't make sense. So
yeah.
But yeah. Well, speaking of your relationship with your dad, if you don't mind me asking, if I go, what is that core memory? That kind of symbolizes the relationship between you and your pops. What sticks out to you?
Ooh, that's tough, man.
Like the first one that comes to your head, because there's always a memory that pops into your head that kind of represents the relationship that you had.
Yeah,
it might be different now because we're older now, but speaking of childhood like traumas, like what sticks out to you?
Yeah. Ooh, I don't know if you know this one, but I just remember either this was back in this has to be high school, where my dad was, because my parents are like super strict and everything. My dad was talking to me and basically yelling, saying, "Oh, where were you on this day?" And then I being the angsty, like,
were you with your girlfriend at the time already?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I said, it's none of your problem, so I closed the door on him.
Oh,
and
yeah?
Then, I don't think you know this story. And then
what? So you were what, like 15?
Bro, relax. 16.
Okay.
And then he kicked the door open. And he's like, I can't remember exactly, but I just remember him. What did you say to me in Hmong?
Bro, relax. Sorry, bud.
Attack! Attack!
He's like scratching me.
Yeah, he's trying to get comfy, but
nah, not today.
Not today.
Not today. Sorry, buddy.
When you did it on purpose.
But yeah.
No, I just remember him kicking the door open, and he got like so pissed. Well, I was pissed too, obviously.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then my mom came in. My mom was like, "Try
calm you guys down and break you." Like, were you guys face to face?
Yeah,
like you guys are gonna get into it.
Because it was a small ass. Because I was in the bathroom, and it was a smallest bathroom. I think you remember that bathroom upstairs.
Oh, the upstairs one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And and then my mom came and she was like, "All right, you guys gotta calm down now."
And that's the point you knew you're like, I'm not a little kid no more.
Yeah.
Like, you can't punk me no more.
Yeah, I'll probably say that probably was the closest that I got into where
like physically,
physically
with your
get into get into a fight kind of thing. Yeah, my mom had to break that shit up, but but yeah, that would pretty much sum the entirety of my basically childhood and teenage years. And then, once I turned 18, got kicked out of the house and everything, that's when I stopped talking to them, and that's when I decided to do things on my own.
Right.
Technically, I wasn't, because I was living with my girlfriend at the time. And, yeah, that's just when I learned to be an adult. Decided to work 2 jobs, which I didn't like.
Yeah, but you kind of have to do what you have to do.
Yeah, and then went back to school, finished, and then... got married, that whole thing, that whole shitting. And,
and this is where we're at now. Right?
Yep.
But, if you don't mind me asking, speaking on that story, how did that pan out, that situation? You said he kicked in the door and you guys were kind of face to face.
Yeah.
And then your mom kind of broke it up?
Yep. And then we just didn't talk to each other for a good week. And then it went back to normal. As normal as...
Right. Like, hey, are you hungry type
thing?
Yep. Right.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So, hey, come eat with the family, that kind of thing.
Knowing damn well you're not going to talk to nobody.
It was always like that.
Right.
But that's how my family always was.
Yeah, you guys would have dinner together, but nobody would talk to anybody?
No, it would always just be my dad and my mom talking to each other.
And all the kids just eating?
Yeah. I think that their ideal situation would always be... one big ass happy family, but really it was just them 2 talking, and then.
But that also, like, as much as it falls on like your parents, that situation kind of falls on the children too. Not saying like you guys are to blame, but it's that level of engagement,
Yeah.
And as much as like you guys are, let's say you guys are quote unquote waiting for your mom and dad to be like, oh. How was your day or whatever, If you guys really wanted to take the initiative, you guys could have been like...
we could have.
Right. Mm-hmm. Thinking about it now, being damn near 30.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, it was weird. If I think back to it now, yeah, we could have tried it a little more, but they also couldn't have. So
right, it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm. So, and they were never the easiest people to talk to because I never, like, for the life of me, could ever make a conversation with my dad without it being awkward.
Right.
Because he was never one to continue the conversation, right? It would always be me that would, like, keep asking or keep talking. Because if I stop talking, then he just doesn't talk.
Right.
So it was always like that.
Yeah, and I kind of see it like he was doing his part as being a dad, but like there's that level of like I want to be like a friend too, you know, but you don't want to be too much of a friend because then you become a pushover.
Yeah,
like in a dad's perspective.
Yeah,
because you know if you just have strictly that, hey, where you going, or hey, come eat, it's never really gonna build that communication between you and your dad.
And I think it's also, well, I'm pretty sure, and you would know, is how they grew up, is how my dad grew up, how your dad grew up. Right. They just grew up in a very different time. I'm pretty sure it kind of stemmed off from their parents. I'm sure they didn't have
the best relationship either. No, for sure.
'Cause I'm pretty sure, like, at least how I grew up and knowing how they grew up is back over there in Thailand or Laos, you just have a bunch of kids, have as many kids as much as possible, and then they just go work for you and support each other, that kind of thing. So you were never like not like now where it's like, oh, my baby, and I'm gonna take care of you, and you're never gonna work a day in your life. Right. Over there, it's like as soon as you're out of the womb, you're fucking going to work the rice fields, you know.
Right. As soon as you can start walking, you gotta go fucking pick cucumbers out of the garden and shit. Right.
So,
but it makes sense because that's shit. I can't even imagine living over there right now.
Right. Apparently, it's a lot better though.
Well, I mean, even back in the day, like when we were children, like early 2000s.
Yeah.
You know, we would probably be in the gardens and shit. But I mean, it would also be normalized.
Yeah, because you know we wouldn't know anything else.
Right.
Shit, if we had a taste of America when we were over there,
we'd be like half the kids went to school.
Okay. Pause.
But yeah, no, that definitely sounds rough. I wouldn't say I had the best relationship with my pops either, but it wasn't to the level of, like it wasn't to the extreme like how yours and your dad was.
Yeah,
like mine was just like my dad was very very quiet, kept to himself, so communication wasn't really ever there, and you know, and I was just thinking about it the other day, and it's like there are even some points where it's like when it was just me and him, it'd be like, man, I'm low key kind of just in the car with a stranger because you know, we'd be driving to go pick up my mom when I was little, and it's like, man, no talking, even when I was a kid, you know. But like you said, maybe that's just how he grew up.
I felt like that's how a lot of, at least like parents that first generation, you know, immigrant parents, they just don't. Besides the mom, I think your mom would talk to you guys, right? Or not?
Talk to me more than my dad would.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say like to the level of like how you see like middle class parents talk to their children and stuff. You know, it was more so like a motherly thing, like growing up, like, hey, jump in the shower, or hey, come eat. Hey, are you hungry? Like wake you up for school. Hey, it's time to go to bed. Just the motherly responsibilities type thing, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, nothing beyond that kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like nothing more than like no deep conversations. Now it's different because I'm older, so she'll be like, okay, when are you gonna get married? Okay, and, you know, you need to hurry up and pop out kids so I can watch them while you work before I die. And cause you know, like the OGs always say that. Like,
that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, that's shit. She's been saying that since I was 21.
Damn.
But that's the thing with my mom though. It's like, don't get a girlfriend until you're done with school. And I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna be done with. If I go to school right after high school, I'm not gonna be done until I'm like 22, 23.
Yeah.
And if I don't get a girl, I'm not gonna know how to talk to girls. Yeah. You know. But as soon as I hit a certain age, it went from don't get a girlfriend to pop out some kids for me.
Yeah.
You know, so.
What do you want?
Right. No, and I had said that to her when I was like in my early 20s. I had said that to her. I'm like, dude, what do you want? Like,
Yeah.
I be going out, you know, talking to some females, and then you be calling me, asking me where I'm at, and like, don't drink too much. I'm like, I remember I specifically told my mom, I'm like, Mom, if I'm talking to a girl, how unattractive is it if she's gonna call you and be like, don't drink too much, make sure you eat some food. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm not gonna answer my phone.
Yeah.
You know, it's my mom calling me.
You know what's crazy too? Just backtrack a little to like how I said, "What do you want?"
Right.
Now it's always like, "What do you want, Mom? What do you want, Dad?"
Yeah.
But it's never like them asking, "What do you want for yourself?" kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always the same expectation, right? Find a Hmong girl or SO, have kids with them, and then we'll watch them. Make sure you finish school. Make sure you're a doctor or a lawyer,
Right.
and then happy life, right? It's
But see, I think that's because like that was kind of drilled into their head. That's like the American dream.
yeah,
You know, make a lot of money, have a lot of kids. And some people do that. You know, some people in our community, like the Hmong community, they do that. And
sometimes I even feel embarrassed fucking telling my parents what I was. I'm a web developer. I'm a web designer.
but it's so funny though, because half the time those people who followed like the roles that their parents were giving them, like have kids early, whatever, get married young, man, those people are like in the worst relationships. Like you can just see it.
yeah.
You know, you can see that they're not happy,
Mm-hmm.
but they stick it out because, oh yeah, we have so many kids together, and you know, your mother-in-law or my mother-in-law likes you, and your mom likes me, and all this and all that, and then they fall into the quote unquote generic relationship, like what we talk about, like where they're content.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'd say that is a level up from those who just hit up the bars all the time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That kind of thing. I don't know. But
Yeah, but I mean, kind of like what you had said to me when we linked up like a year ago, and you were like, "Man, I missed out on the bars and all this and all that." And like I tell you, like you're not missing much. But at the same time, I'm looking at you like, man, I could have been married, I could have had a kid, and I could have been bought a house, and
yeah.
but like it's the perspective, because you looked at me and I looked at you, and
Yeah.
I looked at you as happy and you getting your life together, and you looked at me as like, oh, Blong's living his best life.
Right, yeah, free spirit.
Right,
like,
right.
I can go to parties all the time, kind of thing.
And then we sent her got resentment towards each other.
Oh,
So it goes
man.
both ways, because
Yeah.
you know, like you said, yeah, it is a level up from the people who are going to the bars every weekend. But I say if they're young enough and they have an idea of what they want to do, you know, it just kind of helps them find themselves.
Yeah.
But I mean, if the bar life is your life, then and you're content with it, do your thing. But
Yeah.
me personally, I don't think that I can. Like, I enjoy going to the bar. I like drinking, you know, every now and again.
I'm aware. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. I like to have my occasional alcoholic beverage. But shit, if I ever came to the point where like that just became my life, I don't know if I could ever like be content with myself.
Right. Was it? I mean, it had to be. I can't remember. But I'm talking about, like, can you imagine, like, getting out of your hometown and then coming back and seeing all your old high school buddies still working, same job, still hitting up the bars every weekend, not leveling up, you know? It's kind of sad.
Shit, I don't even think you need to. Realistically, you don't even need to leave town.
You
can just see it. Yeah. Right. You know, not naming names, but there's, you know, there are individuals that we know of that you know, that we speak on, and
Yeah.
not like in a negative way, but it's like,
It's more so like, don't you want to do more than
right,
this?
like we see potential though,
Mhm.
but they don't see potential in themselves, and
Yeah.
you can only try to help them as much as you can, because you're continuously trying to improve yourself as well.
Right. Yeah. You need to put most of the energy on yourself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the little bit of energy I have left, I'm going to try to boost, especially like the people we went to school with, the people we grew up with. You know, I'm going to try to boost you guys up too, but if you guys aren't putting in any effort, you know, why am I trying so hard?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like that one quote, you know, just because we're not friends anymore doesn't mean I don't want to see you succeed.
Yeah.
I want to see you succeed, but just at a different table. Now we're at different tables type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that one hits for sure. Damn. But so growing up as an Asian, right? You told me that well, the viewers don't know, you didn't get beat a lot, right? But it did happen. So
like a handful of times, very rarely. I got the occasional like the coach where, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's normalized in the. I wouldn't consider that like getting hit.
For those that don't know, coach is like, do they do something like this?
Yeah, it's like this.
Smack you with their knuckles or something.
Yeah, it's with these knuckles.
Yeah, that shit hurt.
But that's to me that's like the equivalent of like
a spanking, right?
Like ear twisting. Like
okay.
Like, hey, calm down. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to hurt you. I just needed you to like
listen.
Yeah, quit messing around.
Right.
You know. But no, yeah, I've gotten grown up as a minority. I've gotten hit a handful of times. But I've definitely like heard of like people that we know of, and yourself, you know, getting it more than me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call my parents out on it, but I want to go off of what you said. Do you think you didn't get it as much? It's because the ones before you, like your sisters and like your older brother, they got it and then they lessened it?
Maybe. I'm not going to say for sure because, you know, a lot of my siblings, they're like 10 plus years older than me, you know, or, you know, 7, 8, 9 years older than me. So they're definitely older. But I think growing up as the baby, because I was my parents, I was the last child that my parents had. So I'm sure there was a little bit of like, you know, let's take it easy on them.
Yeah.
And same thing with my older brother. You know, we're only a little over a year and a half apart.
Yeah.
You know, I think they kind of took it easy on us, but I haven't really spoken to my older siblings about it. You know, with their come up. So I'm not. It's kind of hard for me to compare the situation and say that they took it easy on me, because maybe they were like that the whole time, but
and then they decided to stop when
right.
you guys.
But my parents were older as well.
Yeah.
Like, shit, when I was like 10, my dad was like 50 already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because my dad was born in 54, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'd be like 70 next year.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I think we talked about it.
Right. So he would be 69 this year. He would turn 69 this year, and I turned 28. So he was 41 when he had me. So he was definitely older already.
Yeah.
And I think that might have played a part in it, because I know the age difference between me and my dad is bigger than the age difference between you and your dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, like, and my dad was smaller, and like his build was smaller. You know, he was 5'2", like 110 pounds, soaking wet. So he had a smaller frame on him. Compare that to your dad. Your dad was like a fucking unit.
Okay, I wouldn't call him a unit, but he was. So my dad was born in 70 something. Something
Okay,
like that.
yeah.
So yeah, the age gap is a little different, but I wouldn't call him a unit.
Shit, compared to like, But see, I'm comparing him to like my dad though.
Yeah.
'Cause my dad was small.
Yeah, my dad was actually pretty athletic back then.
Well, your dad was what, like 5'4", 5'5", which doesn't sound big.
No,
But
but when you're a kid, bro,
yeah,
man, that dude would like throw you around like a basketball, bro.
your dad is like 5'5", 5'6".
I think he's 5'5", maybe 5'4.5".
Just gets shorter and shorter.
He's shorter than me though. I mean, I'm 5'6", but no, which is yeah, because it's vastly different from your parents and my parents,
Right.
which is crazy, because my parents aren't that old, but the way they grew up, they're like very like strict.
Yeah, like my parents could be your parents' parents.
Yeah,
Because my like remember, like I said, my nephew is our age, and my sister is his mom, and
yeah.
she's
Your
40
older sister is like pretty much like this,
like your parents'
like my
age,
mom,
right?
Yeah. So for them to grow up, for them to be like super strict and like
Yeah.
use every like kitchen utensil in the to smack us, you know.
Yeah, see, I never dealt with any of that.
So the classic fly swatter,
hangers,
yeah,
electrical cords.
yeah, electrical cords. What else? Shoe, whatever they can find.
Right.
Like in a spatula. It's more like man, when they're angry, bro. I wouldn't say they would like beat you or you're bleeding, but they would decide to, man, it was like a buffet for them. Pick your weapon, you know, and they smack you with it. There's nothing around.
And I feel like half the time it's like you didn't even cause that anger.
Right.
Like they come home from work pissed off already.
Yeah.
You do some stupid
Yeah.
shit. You do some stupid shit, and then you're getting the fucking, you're dealing with his wrath. Shit.
Yeah. And I've always envied my sister because,
Your little sister or older sister?
Oh, both really. As a female in the Hmong community, in the Hmong culture, you are at a disadvantage because you're expected to cook, clean, that kind of thing.
Be a traditional housewife.
Yeah. And you were, I don't want to say trained, but that was expected of you. So
Yeah, that mentality was kind of drilled into your head.
yeah.
Or into their heads.
So I wouldn't say that they, because we all got our ass beat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He didn't care. They didn't care if you were fucking, a girl or a guy or an alien. They'll beat your ass.
Equality.
Right. Equality. Shit. Yeah. It's just how they grew up. Just how they grew up. And it almost became second nature to them. As soon as you fuck up or as soon as you do something that
Kept you guys on your toes though, huh?
Right, yep. Because man, nah, I'm not gonna go into details of that, but my brother and I used to we still do laugh about that shit all the time, all the beatings that we had and childhood trauma. It sounds bad, but we laugh it off because that's the only way we can cope with it.
It builds memories for you guys.
Right.
Something to bond over.
Yeah. And I remember being, it might have been 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and my brother and I were in our bedrooms because we had a bunk bed.
Yeah.
And we would listen to Tupac to get us through those hard times. And what's that? Hold On, Be Strong. I'm not sure if it's called that song, but he goes, hold on, be strong. That kind of thing.
I thought you guys were listening to like California Love or something.
No. Well, we did, but
or Hail Mary. I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
No, it was more of his softer music,
Right. Like that Dear Mama phase.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Right.
And yeah, it would get us through those hard times. But yeah, I remember.
I'm surprised you guys
didn't turn out. Fuck up.
No, I'm surprised you guys. Out of everybody, you guys decided to listen to Pac for it. To kind of get that a little bit of escape.
Yeah, dude. Funny story with that. So we didn't have iPods or MP3s.
You were playing on your computer. Huh?
Yeah, we didn't have that kind of stuff growing up. So my dad had this old CD with Black Eyed Peas, and
really?
Tupac was on it, and Vanilla Ice, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we grew up on 90s music, and I think that kind of was the reason why we listened to Tupac. But yeah, I remember listening to that kind of music, or 90s music. But I think that's why we held on to Tupac. But he was also like a lyrical genius, you know.
Right.
He gets you in the feels kind of thing.
No, for sure.
I hate a kill if I don't push.
That's my favorite. That's one of
Yeah.
my favorite lines, man.
Yeah.
So do you hold, speaking of like, getting whooped when you're a child, do you hold any resentment towards your dad? Because I'm assuming your mom never did, right?
No, she did too.
It just didn't hurt as much. That's why you don't really remember it.
No, it did.
But
man.
do you hold resentment towards them though? And like, have you talked to them about it recently?
No, not recently.
Well, you've brought it up in the past. Like,
I have, yeah.
Like, why did you guys hit me, or
Yeah.
what was their reaction to that?
They brought up it was just how they grew up, and that's how you teach discipline kind of thing.
This wasn't a fight. This was like you guys were just casually talking about it.
And they always refer back to, we don't want you growing up to be like your cousin, because my cousin from California, because he's a huge drug addict, and he's I don't even know what he's up to. Even like his younger brothers don't even know where he is now. I've heard he's would come back every few months to beg for money, but then he would leave. But anyways, they would always refer back to him like, we don't want you to end up like him, and we don't want you to, this and that. I'm like, bro, like, I asked for a piece of candy, y'all beat my ass for it. Does that justify it? But no, back
sorry that I grabbed the king size Kit Kat.
Right. I'm sorry it was 20 cents more. You know? Do I hold any like resentment or anything? Yeah. It's a tough one because I've never talked to my therapist about that, but I don't think I do. I don't
like hold resentment.
Yeah, I don't think I do because I
or did you, and it kind of changed as you got older.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, just because, as shitty as it sounds, like no, you should never beat your kid. Yeah,
but I mean, it's like what you said. It's how they grew up. Yeah, that's how they were disciplined.
I think that's why I'm battling between that resentment or just forgiving them for that. But I don't think a child should go through it. And regardless of how they grew up, they were. If you're old enough to have a kid, you should have your shit together.
Right.
You should be ready for the cries and like the little rants that kids have, that kind of thing. You should be ready to not beat them, There are other ways to cope with kids,
Yeah.
So
no, most definitely. But it's like what we were saying, that's how they were disciplined, and at that point maybe that's all they knew.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's why I always have this confliction between don't forgive or forgive them, but don't forget.
Right.
Where it's like they done all this shit to you, and just you can forgive them because you don't want to go down on your deathbed thinking the last thing was them, was a fly swatter being
right.
swung at you, But you know what? Yeah, I do forgive them for that, and I don't think I hold any resentment now.
But that memory is always going to be there.
Yeah, it will always be there. Of all those times of when my girlfriend at the time, of all those things they've said, and damn, just thinking about it now, I'm like, dude, fuck them. I'm just thinking of all the shit they've said.
But even it's like what you said a few episodes ago, when you and your ex-wife first got together, the way they were,
mm-hmm.
to when you told them that, hey, we got a divorce,
mm-hmm.
and how they reacted towards that,
mm-hmm.
younger, you would probably be like, oh, they're gonna celebrate because they're not together anymore. Da, da, da. But you know, as you matured, they also matured because you know they were like,
right. That's
are you okay?
Yeah, that's a good point of view.
So it's like, yeah, you could be holding that resentment, but then, like you said, forgiven but don't forget. But they're progressing just as much as you are.
Yeah. So that's a good point of view. Damn.
So you don't hate them no more.
No, that's the thing, right? You know me. I don't hate anyone.
Right.
I don't hate things.
You just strongly disliked your dad back in the day.
Yeah, strongly dislike him, but not as much as my younger brother Nick's. I've had my fair shares of battles with my mom and my dad. But yeah, Nick's is like, I wouldn't say it's on a whole nother level. I think it's just different.
Oh, I would love to bring him on.
Yeah.
If he's willing to.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he would. Dude, him and we would make super dumb ass jokes.
Yo, we should have brought him on.
Yeah, we can for the next one.
I said we should have brought him on. That way it could just be me kind of like asking you guys questions.
Childhood memories.
Right.
Or childhood nightmares, I guess. I don't know. But
same thing.
Same thing.
Nightmares create memories.
So yeah, they weren't parents growing up. And to be honest with you, I have a younger,
right.
For the viewers that don't know, I have a younger brother that's 5, turning 6 this year. And which I barely know him, but just see. It's crazy.
Right.
My parents are also in California now, so I rarely see them anymore. But just watch them how they're raising my younger brother.
You could just see the difference.
No, it's like they never changed. Like they're still just as shitty. It's just really? I'm not there anymore, so it doesn't affect me. So I feel bad for my little brother. But
But see, now that you and all your other siblings are older, now you guys have a voice,
right? Yeah.
And now you guys can be like,
yeah,
hey, don't be doing that. Or if something starts to escalate, and let's say he's like 10, 11, and they're in Wisconsin, you could be like, yeah, you can just come spend a couple nights at my place or whatever.
Yeah,
because now you're opening up the door of like, you're not alone. You have older siblings who will take care of you now.
Yeah,
like we'll help you. And
is that how you kind of felt with your older sisters, or?
Well, like I said, I never really got beat. So
right.
But I mean, with my sisters,
they were there for you though, right?
Like with my sisters, it was backtracking to when I said like my mom did all the motherly responsibilities, like making sure we ate, making sure we're clean, making sure we get enough sleep. It was my older sisters who were like teaching me how to dress and.
Oh really?
Yeah, like one of my sister Nang. I remember like we were in middle school already, and that transition from elementary to middle school, you start caring about your style a little more.
Yeah.
And I remember
we can't be sitting on the walls anymore. We can't be staying in the walls anymore.
I remember specifically my sister Nang going through my closet. It's like, oh, this matches this, and you should wear this with this, but I mean, she was only in high school at the time.
Yeah,
we were 6th graders, 6th, 7th graders, but yeah, I think growing up with 6 sisters, I get a little bit of motherly vibe from them.
Yeah.
Like everybody sprinkles a little bit of motherly advice,
Yeah.
Now that they're all moms.
All right, yeah.
And I see how they're raising their kids, it's just like I can kind of see like how they're doing it and how they were treating like me and my brother is like it's similar. Like I can see like the tendencies are still there in a good way. Like nothing bad.
Yeah.
So but yeah, no I think that's why I said like you guys can be that voice or that person for your little brother. Because I've never experienced that with me being the baby. I never had that opportunity or that chance to be like, hey, I'll help you.
Yeah.
Like, to my little siblings. I mean, I do it to my nieces and my nephews all the time. You know, I'll drop them off, pick them up, I'll give them money. If they ever need to talk, I'll talk to them.
Yeah.
I'll hang out with them. I'll take them to the arcade, spend time with them, whatever. But they're not going through trauma like how you can kind of see, like, it's all kind of repeating itself, like kind of like what you just said.
Yeah. Which is like, I just think it's crazy, and I don't know if they will ever change. But yeah, just watching how my little brother is growing up currently, it's tough because my parents, they were never around,
Right?
Especially my dad. Fucking going to grab milk every day, we don't need that much milk. We're lactose intolerant. But
is this when he used to just go to work, or would he just kind of go
out? So I don't know,
because I remember you saying he had a business.
Yeah, so he owns, not anymore. He just sold his last, I guess, standing store,
right?
This year, and I don't blame my dad for ever just trying really hard to make as much money as possible to provide for us, but it was at a point where we don't need you gone all the time anymore. We need you around so we don't miss out on times like these where I'm spending the time with my daughter. I would have loved to had you still draw with us, because when we were really little, he would draw with us and everything. I would have loved that. I would have loved you being around, but I also get you need to make money. But it got to a point where he just all he cared about was the money. He was buying a M3. He's buying a truck. That kind of thing. It got to the point where he's just doing it for the luxury now, which is okay, because
but you kind of tarnish that relationship with your family,
right? Yeah. So I don't know. I don't like him. I'm just playing, but I don't know. He just wasn't a dad.
No, for sure.
He just was not a dad. He was a father, but he was not a dad. Not the way I am to my daughter.
He was very intimidating.
Yeah, is he?
I'm not gonna lie, man. When I used to come over to your house, and your mom was always super sweet.
Yeah.
And I've never really spoken to your dad. Maybe the occasional hi.
Yeah.
Or hey.
Yeah.
Or I'm just grabbing a cup of water. But he was very intimidating.
Yeah.
But I said, I'm comparing your dad to my dad.
Yeah. My dad was always dude, he was a douchebag. Let's be real. He was a douchebag growing up, and he's softening up now just because I have a daughter, and my brother has a kid now, my nephew, and my older sister has a son. And
they're grandparents now. That's
yeah.
what it is, right?
And so they've softened up. Well, especially my dad. My mom was always the soft one, but
until she beat you guys.
Yeah. But yeah, he was always just I don't mean to talk down on my dad, but he wasn't a good person. And I'm not going to talk about his work business or
right.
his his own personal business. That was between him and my mom. But he wasn't a faithful person. I'll leave it at that. And yeah, he was just a father, not a dad. He was just never around. So,
So do you still feel like that? Like with your and your dad's relationship, currently? Or do you think it's kind of projecting up a little bit, slowly?
So the funny thing, it's not funny. But
yeah.
So I said he's not a faithful person.
Right.
He's still doing it.
What?
He's still going around. I don't want to talk about his business, but I think that will always be a part of him. The thing with my dad is okay, so everyone says he claims that he's Hmong, right? He strongly claims that he's Hmong, outwardly says that he's Hmong, that kind of thing.
Right.
But we know damn well he's not.
What do you mean?
Okay, so
you think he's Thai?
Yeah. because I also took a ancestry thing, and yeah, I'm pretty damn sure he's
Are you 50%?
yeah,
Really?
yeah, and all my siblings are like, dude, he does not look like our grandpa. But my grandpa also passed away back in the 90s. So,
Well, see, the thing with that situation is a lot of people, because my grandma took in my uncle, but he's not like blood,
yeah.
so maybe that's how your dad was too.
Yeah. So, because, my dad, he's a very, very dark skinned.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, that's why we call him Tony Jaa.
Tony Jaa. Yeah. Like,
yeah, that Thai actor.
'cause I'm just like, dude, there's no way. And he would always, like, buy this hair dye called Oriental Black. And he would always dye his hair that dark. So, I don't know if he had, like
some brown in his hair.
not that. I was going to say, I don't know if he just had some, like, mental issues with, like, acting like I felt like he's always had issues with himself to where he's trying to be something that he's not, and maybe his way of coping with that is apparently going for milk.
Okay, so stepping back to the ancestry thing that you did, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't say you're 50% Hmong, right?
No.
Because I don't know if that ancestry stuff even has Hmong as a, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
there's no country, we don't have a country.
There's like DAI, D as in dog, Dai. I think that's like Dai people. I think that stems from. When I looked it up, it kind of looked like Hmong people, but it's like also a region from a ethnic group in China, but also.
Oh, we are from the Hmong.
So I'm pretty
people
sure that's like the Hmong, and then the other half is
like it was legit split down the middle, 50-50.
yeah. The other half was well, it's half, but then the half was Thai / Cambodian.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could see a little Cambodian in your dad
Yeah.
now.
So, and my dad has always denied it, and but here's the thing too. My dad came from a family because my grandpa, which rest in peace, by the way, he passed away.
He was Hmong though, right?
I think, but he had 2 wives.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so I don't know if that was just something that because my dad grew up with, but also when he was like 15, 16, like his grandparents or his parents passed away, so my grandparents. So he from 15 to 16 and up to damn near 50 now. It's just him.
Huh? Right.
And the thing is, like my mom's side of the family, so my grandparents from that side that lives in California, like they've always not liked my dad. I never found out the reason for it. I don't know if it's just because he's not Hmong. I don't know. But I've always felt bad for him too. But
Maybe that's why he works so hard. Maybe that's why he's trying to live in luxury, because nobody's ever really from what you're saying. It kind of seemed like nobody has ever accepted him for him. So maybe when he works so hard and makes all this money, buys all these cars, buy a nice house, because in the Asian community, having nice things creates status.
yeah, that's the thing. That's the funny thing too.
And I think that's
was
what
like,
it is.
I remember asking my dad maybe 8, 9 years ago.
Okay.
Asking him, Dad, why do you work so hard? Why do you care about money? And the answer was respect.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. That's why like in the Asian community, everybody wants their kid to be doctor, lawyer, because those are like the most prestige jobs you could get. I mean, now it's different.
Yeah.
You could work in IT and make shit ton of money now, but
I'm a web I'm a web application engineer.
Right. But like in the OG's heads, doctor, lawyer, make a lot of money, live real good, because you live real good, you have a nice house, you have a nice car.
That equates to happiness, apparently.
Right. Happiness, you build good reputation, and you're not down here with the the brokies anymore. Your status is your status, you're elite now.
Yeah. That that quote, was it we pave this or we walk this path so our children can run, that kind of thing.
Right.
So I think that was kind of like stuck in or ingrained in their head where we want you to be super rich, have a family, have lots of kids, that kind of thing.
And I think with a lot of that is those parents who are like drilling their kids, not even just in the Hmong community, like the Asian community, like go to the best college you can get into and they're living through their children.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah,
because they want to be successful, but with the language barrier and being first generation immigrants and starting from nothing and living in a shitty apartment in the hood, it's like a big level of success for them already.
Yeah.
So from there, they're just kind of projecting like, I started from nothing and we might not be in the best situation. We still live in shitty, but hey, look, we're living.
Right.
So since I did this, I know you can do this too.
Right.
Because you are my child.
Yeah, it's that unwanted pressure and expected.
No, for sure.
But yeah, just going back to what you're saying, they were in straw
Right.
houses and homes and stuff like that.
They came to America not knowing a lick of English, and
yeah, right.
And I think I'm like, man, just imagine if we moved to like Canada. No.
Just imagine if we
moved to like fucking one of the Asian countries.
Yeah.
Or even like India or Mexico or something.
Right.
Trying to start from the ground up, not knowing a lick of Spanish is like.
Right.
Thinking about it just in my head, I get anxiety about it. Cause I'm like, bro, what the hell would I don't even know where I would start.
Yeah. Just like I can give my dad so much shit, but he's gone through a lot. When he first came to America, he started working at, it was either Taco Bell or Little Caesars.
Right.
And with like little to no English. So for them to like know Thai, Hmong, and English, it's just crazy to me. Like, yeah, they just grew up in a vastly different time, obviously.
Oh,
but
yeah.
So, I guess a part of me is like, I don't blame them for it, but I'm also like proud of where they are now, especially because we used to live on top of that Oriental store by Family Dollar on not the best neighborhood.
That was a spot though.
Yeah, that was the spot.
That Oriental shop was.
Yeah.
Lit. You guys own that shop or no?
No, we just my parents just rented that top half.
Okay.
So we didn't know who owned that building, which is funny though, because eventually my parents, my mom or my parents, they bought that shop and they renovated the top.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they started their salon, but they sold it last year. So.
Right.
But it's just crazy how it turns around. Like we went from living on top of that Oriental store to owning it.
Right.
Yeah. So that was a big flex, I would say.
No, even at that, growing up, kind of poor, coming over to your house and like, damn, bro. You got a big ass house, you got a basement too. Like your basement's finished and you got big ass TV. Like, man, your parents must be doing really well for themselves.
Yeah.
Cause like back in the day, you've gone to, my parents' house, you've gone to our other friend's parents' house and you're like, I'm sure, I don't know from your perspective, but I'm sure you're like, yeah, we're living different a little bit.
Yeah. But I never thought anything bad about it.
No, for sure.
Just like, before my parents moved in the house, like I said, we were living on top of the Oriental store and renting cheap housing rentals and stuff like that. So, yeah.
No, for sure.
It's just my parents are a grand example of the opposite of don't forget where you came from, because they completely forgot where they came from. Literally.
Hey, but they're, I don't know, man. Like you said, they work hard.
Mm-hmm.
Can't knock them for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they just prioritize the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's why your guys' relationship, I'm sure, like, I don't know about your brothers and your sisters, but just from your perspective, or from what you're telling me, you know, the relationship wasn't ever really there,
Nah,
and it still really isn't.
no, it's gotten better.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, I would say it's. I wouldn't say it's non-existent. There's something there. I don't know
Just
what it is.
trying to figure out what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, once they saw that we all started having kids, well, kid for me, but it started to change a little. So
It's also growing up too.
yeah,
Because
so,
I'm sure once you once you started popping out kids and calling your dad for like helping renovate your places,
Mhm.
like this place,
yeah,
you know, it's like he probably looked at it like, oh, you know, these aren't these aren't my kids anymore.
right.
These aren't little kids no more. You know, these
Right.
are grown men.
Yeah, making decisions,
right.
and paying a mortgage,
Mhm.
But yeah, those, and I'm sure you've experienced it too, because your dad didn't really talk to you, and you never had like deep conversations with your mom.
Right.
Like growing up as a minority, they don't teach you a whole lot. You kind of have to learn it on your own.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like freaking your love life and
Yeah,
being in relationships.
Right.
My parent, I mean, I don't know about your parents. My parents they really never showed affection in front of us. Like, they never kissed. I've never seen my mom or dad kiss. You know what I mean?
at all.
At all.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, like I said, my dad was really quiet. My mom talked a little more than he did, but
Mhm.
she was more on the quiet side too.
Mhm.
So it's like introverts racing introverts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, man, because growing up in middle school and high school, man, I really didn't talk. I had a set group of people that I talked to,
Mhm.
and other than that, I really didn't talk. I really didn't start like
Opening up.
opening up until after high school.
Yeah.
You know, when I started going out and meeting people, and that's when really I could just talk to whoever now. And but yeah, going back, it's like just seeing how they were together played a part in me trying to find a relationship that fits me,
Yeah.
because I'm still trying to figure out what kind of person that I want, or what kind of person
Right.
that I am,
Mhm.
you know. And I wish they would have told me that, because I probably would have been married by now,
Yeah.
realistically. But it's all good. I'm not tripping about it.
Yeah.
Same with you. The dynamic of your parents' relationship, you think that played a part?
Oh, hell yeah. I think the way my dad grew up, him being quiet all the time, never talking, stemmed to a lot of the issues that I have now, because I struggle with opening up.
Same here. Or when you open up, you feel like you feel dumb, or
Yeah, right.
like,
Yeah. It's,
like you
Yeah.
like you overthink. Like, man, if I say this, it's gonna backfire me at some point.
right. Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, so I still struggle with opening up to people, even my family, especially my family. One thing my brother brought up, it was Christmas a couple years ago. He was like, my brother-in-law and him were talking, and my brother was saying, one thing, not one thing to work on, but one thing he's noticed that I've never truly opened up to them about a lot of things.
Yeah.
But
Like your brother or your parents?
my
Like-
brother, like me open up to like my parents or them.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it was both.
Yeah, right.
Both my parents and my siblings. So I've always struggled with opening up, but that's just one of those things that I unfortunately got from my dad growing up. But yeah, just watching them be together, and how my dad, always going for milk and stuff, and never around, and not faithful. Just didn't made me. I think we talked about this in one of our early episodes where the reason why we were looking for love was so young, because we never got any at home.
Right.
So it kind of put that on me, where it's like I struggle to open up with people, but I'm trying to find not the one, but someone to share that experience with.
Right.
So basically, if anyone out there is got beat as a kid, my phone number is
911.
911.
Call for help.
child CPS. No. But yeah, it just sucks because, man, it's so. Obviously, we can change those habits. We can make, because we're adults now. We can find ways to cope with it and do better.
Right.
It just kind of sucks because that makes it so much harder for me. I don't know, for you, just to find a relationship that you don't have to worry about all these extra things or opening up, that kind of thing.
And I think that's why, I think for you and me both, that's why we say communication is like a real big, key factor in finding a potential partner in the dating pool, whatever dating pool we have left. But because at least for me, like, I really didn't see my mom and my dad communicate too much. Like, they would eat together, they'd sleep together, the whatever they do. But I think in front of the children, it was like, at least for me, I really didn't see it too much.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard to, like, because I don't know if it's true, but from what I've been told, it's like you kind of realize what you want in a relationship based on the relationship that you see growing up, which is your parents.
Yeah.
And because I really didn't see too much of a relationship there, to me they were like mom, dad.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say I've never considered them like husband and wife, but I've never physically seen husband and wife vibe from them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to like
to gauge that.
Yeah, to gauge and be like, oh, this is what I want in a person.
Right.
Because I'm still learning about it.
Right. It's like, I don't know what that is.
Right. I'm still figuring it out.
Right. So, yeah, that's tough. Yeah, you and I, same boat. Just a little different, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know what a good relationship is because I've never seen one.
Right.
So, probably why we struggle so much.
It's probably why we're single.
That's not why.
Yeah, it is.
We're focusing on ourselves.
We're only focusing on ourselves because we don't have females to focus on us.
Okay. No. Like I said, bro, just be selfish, man. Focus on yourself. And whatever happens, happens.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was talking to my brother-in-law about the other day. He was like, dude, so when are you gonna, start dating again, right? I'm like, you know what? I think before I can actually love somebody, I gotta learn to love myself first.
100%.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't want to stem it into, because I thought about it the other day too, like with my whole divorce thing.
Right.
And I was just thinking to myself, like, one of the reasons why we're not together anymore is because her and we came from trauma, and we were trying to find that similar feeling that we can relate to. And where we are now is vastly different. And so it came from, we just had a lot of problems, and we just need someone to love us for it. And I think that's what we were then, but not anymore.
Right.
So, damn.
We went from dads to relationships.
Yeah.
Stem back to the dad talk, though. So a question I have for you about your dad was, what was your reaction when you found out, like, your mom and dad is going to spend majority of their time in California?
Okay, so at that point, I didn't care anymore. Because they started in 2019.
Okay, a few years ago.
Yeah, so
This is before your daughter, too.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So they've already started that their business over there. So it was at that point I didn't even care anymore because I didn't have that relationship with them.
Did you feel bad for like your other siblings at all? Because I know what your little sister was still decently like 18.
I don't know. I can't speak on her behalf because
Right.
she grew up differently, and she's still living at our, I guess you can say, childhood home.
Right.
But No, I guess I did feel bad, but I'm pretty sure like
Did you feel like they were abandoning you guys?
nah,
No.
because they've already done that. they were never around, so
Like they mentally checked out already.
hmm yeah, so we didn't care. The only thing that I was worried about at the time, because my little brother was like what 2, 1,
Yeah.
1.5, whatever. So we never really got to know him and how his living conditions are. At least I had my brother and my older sister.
Right.
Growing up, he doesn't have anyone. So if there's any sort of like bad feelings or resentment in that area, it's because of our little brother. But
Damn.
yeah, we were mentally checked out by the time they decided to sell all their businesses and go out to California. It's their life,
No, for sure.
Yeah. At one point, it's like I can't be putting my energy there anymore.
Right.
So.
I feel like having that distance, kind of. I don't want to say like positively influences the relationship, but I think having that distance like creates something like, okay, so when you guys do come back, I'm gonna stop by and see you guys.
Yeah.
Rather than, man, we live in the same city. I don't need to go over there.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you guys.
Yeah, which is funny because when they were here for like the 4 or 5 months, you know how every Friday I'll tell you I'm going to my parents' house after the gym, that kind of thing, before we shoot our podcast. Yeah. So yeah, it kind of does create that feeling of the miss.
You low key kind of miss him a little bit.
Yeah, that feeling of
like
before things got shitty,
right? And
kind of thing.
I think it's the distance. It's everybody's grown up, everybody's maturing.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you guys go over there, they're not treating you guys like little kids no more.
No,
you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why it's you guys are more like open to going over there, having dinner with them, having a few drinks with them, and just chilling.
Yeah. Super funny. So the day that my parents wanted to celebrate, it was like on a Saturday. So the weekend before they were going to leave.
Right.
My brother was like, "Hey Dad, you want a beer?" And then my dad was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Bro, that's so weird."
Even you saying that.
Yeah. I was like, "Bro, that's so weird." Cause I talked to my parents in Hmong.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of weird talking to them, speaking to them in English.
Right.
So when my brother said that, he was like, "Hey Dad, you want a beer?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Did he come and sit by you guys and drink too, or?
Yeah. I'm like, I guess, but yeah,
just hearing that, you're like,
right.
Yo, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm like, some Twilight Zone type shit, something you're not used to.
But that just kind of shows that, kind of like what I've been saying, maturing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but my dad can still drink though.
Nah, we all drink them. In my heyday. Not in my prime no more. But.
Yeah, but
damn. Well, any other thoughts you want to get out about your dad before we end it? We're going on about an hour 10.
Yeah,
more so an hour because the whole first 10 minutes was a struggle.
Yeah, no. Hey, it's going back to the trauma, going back to the beatings, going back to them not being around, going back to my dad not being faithful. Damn, that sounds so negative.
Right.
But no, I still love him. And like I said, on my deathbed, I don't want to be thinking about all the negative things about my dad. I just want to think about the good stuff and before I go out, because I know we're not here forever. So,
all right, one last thing, right? You don't have to do it if you don't want to, right?
All right.
If you could say anything to your dad right now, what would you say to him?
Anything?
Yeah, anything. Like if your dad was sitting right in front of you and he was like, "Did you need to say anything to me?" Like,
ooh, that's a tough one. Because there are two things that I can say.
Let's do it like this, right? I'm wishing nothing but health for your parents, right?
Yeah.
Let's say your dad's on his deathbed, and you get one last shot.
I knew you were gonna go there.
You get one last shot to say something, right?
Yeah.
I'm not praying for their downfall. I'm praying, healthy life and everything. But if you had to say something before, what are you saying?
Yeah, that's crazy because I knew exactly what I was gonna say.
I was
gonna say, Dad, I love you and I'm proud of you.
Don't look at me.
You're my dad right now. I would say,
but say it like you're actually talking.
If he was on his deathbed, I would say, Dad, I love you and I'm proud of you, and I've forgiven of all the things you've done, and just know that I was always here for you. Sometimes just not physically, but I was always thinking of you, especially with his upbringing and everything too. Yeah, because I can't even imagine being a teenager and losing your parents and then the rest of your life, just thinking of that. So
are you just leaving it at that then?
Yeah.
Or is there anything like specific you would want to say to him?
You're a bit. No.
Like genuinely though, like.
Yeah.
You want to apologize for anything? You want to...
I ain't apologize for shit.
But you want to apologize for anything? You want to make sure he knows that, you understand where he was coming from?
Yeah.
You want to say like, I was a bad son. I was a good son. You were a bad dad.
I was a damn good son.
You know what I'm saying though? Like,
I graduated college for you. That's the first one.
Right. Just say what you got to say.
Yeah, I'm never going to apologize for being myself. And at the time, my girlfriend at the time, my life choices, that kind of thing, was all because of the way they affected me growing up, and how I was seeking love and everything. So, yeah, I'm not mad anymore.
And this is you speaking to your dad right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If my dad was that table, right?
Right. That water bottle.
Look
at that water bottle and see your dad's face.
The tables turn. I'm a unit. I'm a unit now.
All right, go ahead.
But
we'll end it off with this.
Yeah. Fucking, I can't see that. Can you imagine my dad had just fucking bottle cap? But no. Yeah. Yeah, it just feels weird fucking talking to that. But no.
Don't look at the water bottle. Then.
No,
look at the chair.
I'll end it at this. I love my dad. I forgive him for everything he's done, and I know he's gone through his own trauma, growing up without his parents and his upbringing in America. I just wish nothing but the best for him, and that I hope we end up on a real good relationship by the time I go out.
Or he goes out.
Yeah. But
but that was part one of our day.
Hey, what about you, man? What about you?
That's why I said this is part one, because we're already an hour deep. And we pretty much spent the whole time talking about your dad. So this is part one of our father/dad episode. I want to thank Eric for sharing what he shared. And part 2's coming, and we will be talking about my dad.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that. Any last words?
Call me Big E for now. Call him Dragon.
Dragon is nuts.
Big E and Dragon.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Peace.